Reaching out to the World Wide Web. I am Latoya the artist. Okay. Um, aka L Ralliford, aka L Michelle. Formerly L Michelle. I am now back to being L Ralliford. Um, so I'm here just to say hi, so you know what I look like. I am the artist. I create a lot of work. I've been doing art since before I could remember. First started off with doing, watercolors and then working towards, pastels and pencils. Bob Ross, as I usually like to boast as being my actual art teacher because, for the most part, I grew up poor. So I had to basically teach myself most of it. As I got older and I traveled with my family, I learned fashion designing. I went to fashion design school, and that is where I got to critique the proportions of my art. But up until then, everything was pretty much freestyle, which was very impressive because I still got into some shows and really impressed a lot of people. So I'm just here to let you know who I am and asking you to go ahead and reach out and support me. It's really cool to get people to say that they like my work, but it's even better to get someone to buy my work because that makes me feel like I really hit that spot with you where you're going to go ahead and put it on your wall and display my stuff. A little bit about the background of my work. A lot of my work, you'll notice, has a lot of vibrant colors because um, I feel like the colors are what speaks to people. It speaks to me, you know. And so I try to either make them really, really bright and bold or not so much and blending in to kind of be more of the abstract or in the norm, right? I wanted to show the world in the way that I see it. And hopefully that triggers something inside of you so that when you look at a piece of my items that you can feel like you are able to voice something within yourself that you may not have the words for it. That is the point of my art. I have a lot of collectors. I've been in a few art shows, namely mostly in Virginia. I've had a few art shows over in Virginia when I was doing the display of my work Eve, and also my display of my work The Gardener. Those are my first two paintings in a art show, official art show, and I was very proud. And the response was really, really, really bold. People were very impressed, and I love listening to how people tell me what tell me how my art speaks to them, and they tell me how they interpret it because nobody has the same interpretation. So a lot of the times I don't like putting names on a lot of my pieces because I feel like you should be able to come up with a name for the piece. It should be something that speaks from you. And if I put a word or title on it, that might just take that away from it. So I just want to leave it completely up to you guys. Um, I've done fashion design shows. I don't do fashion design so much anymore. I put most of my stuff into illustration and design. Graphic novel design and cartoon sketches is what I started with. So if you're looking for somebody to design your books or book cover art or anything like that, I am the one. I've been done a couple projects on that already. I do also web design and graphic design, but that's more primarily in my graphic design business. So if you want something more on the graphic end, I recommend going to my website, which is oosnapp.com, which is oosnap.com, and from there, um, I can go ahead and book you, and you can see some of my work over at that end. This site, which is my artist site, is particularly for my art. I wanted to kind of showcase my work on a platform and in a way that you guys can kind of see the story unfold. And I also have a social media platform, and on my social media, I have my old stuff, like when I was a kid. But that's not obviously my style anymore. I've definitely developed a long way. But I like to have that on my social media because I like to see where I come from. And so every so often, it's nice to kind of look back and be like, wow, I really can't believe I drew that. So I, once again, it's really good to hear people say things, and it would be nice to get some more feedback. But please do me a favor and buy something. I mean, I have set up a whole store arrangement. You can buy things for like $4. Doesn't cost you much, but that little $4 will do more for me as motivation, just to know that you really appreciate my work and you're not just saying it. So with that said, go ahead, buy my work, buy my work, buy my work, and also give me some feedback, give me some reviews. I also do custom work. So if you need me to make a custom piece for you, I do that. The largest size that I do is 60 by 70, which is like a huge wall size. Okay, it's like mass. So if you have a big house and you want a nice gallery painting, I can definitely work that out for you. I also do charcoal, I do pastels. I will not say that I'm like the strongest in the pastels. I'm primarily acrylic and any of the painting kind of things, but I do also do pen and charcoal sketches, which I am very strong at. And you can see my collections on that on my collections page. I think what else? Not into sculpting yet, but that is an area that I will be adventuring in later. I have had some experience, but I will not call myself a master. And that's the other thing. The other point of this website is to help me to help me as well as help you see what I'm doing, but is to kind of help with understanding if I'm on my path to what I want as an artist, as a kid. The first thing I've always wanted to be or to do was to be a master artist. That was my first thing. I remember watching Bob Ross and telling my mom, one day I am going to be a master artist. I'm going to be a master. Because that seemed like a really big deal. And she calmly told me, she's like, well, Latoya, it takes like a lifetime to become a master of a skill. And I was kind of like, bummed out about it. I didn't really understand what she was talking about, but over the years, I kind of developed more of an understanding. I'm like, oh, that is what she's talking about. The perfectionist, the need to constantly push myself to develop something that speaks from my heart, that can speak to you in a way that you're kind of like, this is a piece that is from Latoya, from L. Ralliford, and that is a unique piece. I have, like I said, I have many, many different collectors, and I would love to add you as one of my my confidants. One of my, I mean, that's not the word, but one of my many followers to be added to my collection of collectors, I guess, is what you would say. Anyway, so if you want to buy my art, please buy my art. If you like my art, buy my art. If you're thinking about it, buy my art. If you're kind of pondering, maybe should I, could I, buy my art. I can offer prints from $4. I offer a whole bunch of things. I work with a company through my website that prints everything into high quality. If you don't like any of those style, I can also print everything that you see in my gallery. I can print them on the canvas print, and I hand touch it up to make sure that it is not just a copy, that it is a unique piece for you. So once again, if you're thinking about it, buy my art. Always reach out to me. I am here if you have any questions or anything like that. And until then, thank you for taking the time to listen to my video, and have a good night.